and welcome to another episode of 72 Pin Connector. With us this week, we have Tom Webster.
Howdy.
And Adam Jordan.
Hello.
How are y'all doing this week?
Good.
Pretty good.
I've played basically one game the entire week.
Nice.
One game.
So you've been busy. I've also been busy with, well, 2 games technically, but basically one video game.
I did.
Yeah.
No, well, I did some gaming. I didn't get to do nearly as much as I wanted. I bought a truck.
Oh,
So,
nice.
A lot of that shit.
That's awesome.
So how is the truck?
It is good. It is very good. It is big. It is black. And it can pull shit.
What
are you pulling?
Yeah.
Once I get it
like
out here.
Groceries
I'll be pulling my grocery cart. I don't like to load my groceries. So what I'm going to do is take a bungee and put it to my hitch and then just go.
Yeah, that's totally normal.
Exactly.
Completely rational.
That's what I see happen all the time.
What kind of truck did you end up getting?
Silverado 1500. So, honestly, it's not that big, but it's a nice...
I know what a Silverado is.
It's truck shaped.
About as far as...
It is truck shaped.
But it's not silver.
No, it lies.
Okay. So you have a Chevy, you're going to get one of those back window clings of Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes peeing on the opposite brand of truck's logo?
You got to get some truck nuts.
No. Oh my God. Don't get me started with truck nuts. I had a buddy back home who swore up and down as soon as he got this brand new, it was like 2015 GMC, beautiful truck. He's like, I'm going to hang truck nuts from it.
Oh, God.
Come on. He never did, but I think it may have been because I threatened that if he did, I would cut him off every time I'd see him. I would castrate his damn truck.
That's one of the worst things to ever exist is truck nuts.
So if you had to have one of them on your vehicle, would you rather have truck nuts or would you rather have Hobbs pissing on something?
Oh,
I'm not going to sully Hobbs. I'm not going to sully Hobbs or Calvin like that. I will not sully the name of Calvin and Hobbs.
Can I meet you in the middle at a tap out sticker?
Ooh, I think
only if you combine it with Monster
or one of those like bald eagle with the American flag backdrop that takes up the entire back window.
The full colored ones that are opaque.
Yeah,
dude, those are the worst.
I'll pick that over the truck nuts for sure.
But if you get that instead of the truck nuts, you also have to have the 2 flagpoles bolted onto the side of your truck.
Oh, yeah.
With one big ass American flag and one big ass Confederate flag.
And you have to have
I literally saw one of those the other day. It was amazing.
And something that people were doing back where I was at, they have to put smokestacks. You have to change your exhaust to go through a smokestack out of the bed of the truck.
Jesus.
I saw a truck the other day that was lifted so high that when the headlights were on, it made the wheel wells glow too.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Oh, good God.
Oh, the things people do to vehicles for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
So that has been another great episode of Truck Nuts Weekly.
Yes.
Tune in next week when we discuss stainless steel truck nuts and if they really clang.
Balls of steel, baby. Balls of steel.
Wow.
Damn right. Make Duke proud.
Hey, you guys want to talk about video games a little bit?
No, I want to talk about truck nuts more.
Wow, okay.
Well, in that case, they come in like 3 different varieties that you can attach to the... No, I'm joking. Fuck that noise.
I was going to carry on, but yeah.
How's that Dark Souls?
I've been playing one game this week, and it has been Dark Souls.
Masochist.
I will mention the other 2 tiny things I have been playing. I've been playing Lee Chess again. That's leechess.org. It's open source and free, so jump on it. With everyone here, and Irk and Adam are both kicking my ass at chess because I am way less good than I thought I was. Oh God, it was so bad because I got used to playing. I'm like, yeah, I'm winning all the time. I'm so good at this, and then you guys join, and I don't want to play anymore. It's like playing Dota.
I love chess. I used to play a ton of chess. I would stay after school with the teachers, and yeah.
Nerd.
Yeah.
So I did get in like an hour of another Metroid 2 remake. And also, fuck you, Nintendo, for pulling that. I know legally why you had to, but still, big ol' fuck and you. It's a great game. But Dark Souls. So I did cover this a whole lot last week, so I don't want to get too far into it. One thing I do want to talk about is the level design. Dark Souls has got some of the best game design I have seen in a AAA title in years. The levels are designed in such a way that they loop back on themselves. Whereas in most games, like take Skyrim for instance, right? You go and you find a dungeon, you find a cave in the ground, you go through the dungeon, clear everything out, kill all the enemies, loot everything, you get to the end, you open up the treasure chest, you get like a bow or something, and now what? Now you have to walk all the way back through this empty place full of nothing, and it breaks the flow, it breaks the immersion, it kind of annoys you a little bit. Dark Souls doesn't do that. What happens is the levels are actually constructed in a spiral, where you're either going up or going down, or some combination of the two, where you're either always ascending or descending. And this goes for most areas, not for every area. It's weird. But what happens is, after you get to the end, or even to a midpoint, the level has doubled back around on itself, where you won't even notice, but you'll get to a place, you'll kick down a ladder, open a locked door, and you're like, holy shit, I'm right here. I'm back at the beginning. I didn't even see this. This wasn't even an option when I was here in the first place. And of course, the game does stuff like, hides ladders and stuff, so you won't be able to use them right away. You can't cheat your way through the game.
Right.
But it's absolutely wonderful. They completely short-circuited the backtracking.
It's good design.
So, something I actually heard about the game design on that, there was a podcast I listened to, a guy, so Dark Souls cult-ass following. There's one way to play the game, and they ridicule you otherwise. Well, this guy never played it before, and the way he was playing it was he was hardly ever fighting. He was literally avoiding most of the enemies. He was saying that the levels are kind of laid out to a way where you don't have to fight if you don't want to some of the times.
The Dark Souls speedrun is based entirely on running. I think they get into like a couple fights just to push people out of the way. But that's literally it. The game is built in such a way, and there is no one true way to play Dark Souls. If you want to be that guy that plinks stuff with an arrow for 20 minutes just to kill one tiny little skeleton, you can do that. You can play it that way. It's easier. You can make it easier on yourself. You can go, full hardcore melee like I'm doing because I'm a sadist. Or you can run through the game. I think the speedrun I saw was like an hour and a half to get through the whole game, and that guy was just sprinting. Just a crazy sprinting skeleton man. I mean,
it makes sense to do a speedrun like that, but doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of playing the game? Isn't like the whole point of that game is like the intricate combat and the improving in the combat and getting better and...
Sort of. A lot of Dark Souls is figuring out ways to get around your objective, no matter what that means. And so for the bosses, usually the fastest ways in the speedrun is to get right up in their grill and like smack them with all of the hardest, spells or weapons you have. So they do have to fight and outsmart things in some capacity. But you're right, they do skip most of the encounters. But if you're speedrunning Dark Souls, you've probably gone through it normally once or twice before, at least.
True.
Yeah, I get the point in speedrunning. It's kind of cool to watch sometimes, but personally, I don't see what the enjoyment of it would be. Because, you're circumventing the way the game's supposed to be played, really. I shouldn't say it like that, but just...
It's a self-challenge, right? Why do people play Zelda with the 3-heart challenge, where you skip every heart container? Right? It's to say, I can, and I did it.
It's kind of a novelty, in a way.
Yeah. It increases replay value, right? That works perfectly in the design of Zelda games. If Zelda games made you get the heart container after you defeated a boss, the 3-heart challenge wouldn't be a thing, right? People, they would lose that replayability, as small as that may be.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, Tom, I know you've seen this. Eric, have you seen the videos where the guy goes, he like breaks through the map with the camera and sees kind of what's behind the scenes?
No.
Before we move on from Dark Souls, there's a video on Dark Souls about this.
So cool.
What's the name of the series? Is it Breaking Boundaries?
Boundary Break. He is so cool.
You've obviously seen Dark Souls gameplay.
Yeah.
But he goes behind the scenes in Dark Souls and there is a lot that is just 3D rendered. Like, a whole city's worth of stuff is 3D rendered, and you never see half of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's the stuff in the background, but it's fully rendered.
In the background, where you would usually get billboarding and flat textures to kind of, trick the eye and make you think, oh yeah, there's stuff back there, but whatever. They've actually built intricate buildings with textures and textured on windows on the outside of these tiny miniature buildings that will never be seen by anyone, just to do it. Now, that's probably one of the reasons that the original original 360 version and the original PC launch ran like dog shit. But
Absolutely
it's cool that they were that intricate.
Yeah. So I used to play a lot of Borderlands 2. A ton of it. I mean, the first 3 weeks, I logged a week of gameplay. So, I mean, I was putting literally 1/3 of every day for 3 weeks. I was putting into that game. Me that. It was absurd. But regardless. So, there was Tate and I and 2 buddies that we would be playing all the time. I mean, we were finding ways to do things. We were ahead of the guys telling you how to beat Terramorphous and stuff like that. But one of the cool things is we were rerunning levels just to fuck around. And one of us, when we were falling, hit this ledge. And we realized, hold on, this ledge caught me. And then started walking, realized, oh, fuck, we're on the other side of the wall. And all of a sudden, next thing we know, we're completely out of the level. But it's like you were describing where everything else is still built.
Yeah.
So we just started wandering. And then you realize to save on image space and stuff, one of these areas you warp to is actually in the same map level. So you walk over there and all of a sudden this is where Terramorphous spawns. And you actually see this Terramorphous in the map waiting to spawn. So it wasn't something that was triggered. It was actually there waiting and then triggered in.
I'm gonna segue just a tiny bit. This is a learning opportunity for all you listeners out there. A lot of times for bigger enemies like bosses or complex to animate or model character models will actually be placed inside of a level, like underneath level geometry or outside level geometry where you can't actually see it under normal circumstances, because it's actually too slow to try to dynamically load them in when they're supposed to pop into an area. So what they do is they just load them in as part of a level and move them. They don't actually spawn that enemy or that boss character into the level. They just move it to where it's supposed to be right before the encounter. So it's a cool little trick.
Well, what got me is we weren't there for Terramorphous. I mean, we would have had to load to access that area. So that's what was funny to me. I was like, why are you... And granted, that game ran great, so it doesn't matter. They could have thrown anything they want. It ran beautiful. It was still just like a head-scratcher to me.
Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. If you check out Boundary Break on YouTube, there's a whole lot of character models that are just hanging out in default poses, like underneath the levels, because that's just the fastest way to do it.
Nice.
So what about you, Adam? Just Rocket League?
Pretty much. Obviously, the lead chess with you guys on my breaks and at work and stuff like that. Actually didn't play very much Rocket League this week at all. But we played last weekend, and we played a tournament.
Oh, really?
We won that tournament.
Nice.
Oh,
First place. Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. It was the PRL bragging rights tournament. Now, that being said...
$25 million prize pool.
Yeah, no, there was no prize pool for that one. It was all the higher level competitive teams were busy.
No. That's a sidebar, man. That doesn't matter.
Still counts.
No. Yeah, but the competition was easier. Not actually, most of the teams didn't give us that much trouble. There was a couple pretty good teams in it, though.
Modest bragging.
We had some
over
good
here.
games.
Look at this.
No, not like that. Not like
they weren't
that.
Too hard. They weren't
I'm just
too
saying,
terrible.
all the really, really good teams weren't playing that particular tournament. Like the pro level teams and the teams just under that.
Let's say, don't sell Don't sell yourself short though, because I've played with all 3 of you guys. You guys are fucking legit. For legitimacy.
I lose against the computer still in Rocket League, so, if you guys need another player, let me know. I'd be happy to help.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Also,
we'll take you over C Block and Merlin and Casper.
There is one other thing that should be called out about Rocket League since last time we talked is the 12 Titans.
Oh, yes.
I don't know this guy's name. Chime in afterwards, Adam, because he does deserve mad props. But someone threw up $500 prize pool and said, I'm going to do a 1v1 tournament, single elimination with the 12 best players in the world. I'm going to record this, and then I'm going to edit the piss out of it, and then I'm going to let everyone watch it.
Yeah. Well, the thing about this was, all right, nobody knows who this guy was. And all of a sudden he comes out with this trailer, this cinematic, beautiful. I mean, this was like top level video editing and production. It had a narrator. It had camera work. It had post production. It was absolutely incredible. I'd never seen anything that well produced for Rocket League before. It looked like an actual movie trailer. Like it was that good. And out of nowhere, this guy just posts this thing, and he's like, "I have an invitation to a tournament," and he just invites these 12 pro players, and it's overly dramatic. It's kind of cheesy in a way, but it's got this sense of, it's got this mystery to it. Like, who is this guy and why is this so important? And
then another, I can't remember, the other group came in and matched his $500 to make it $1,000 prize pool. Yeah.
One guy was like, "Hey, here's $500 more dollars. This is $1,000 tournament now."
So this tournament was really interesting because it's 1v1 single elimination. You saw a lot of great matchups the entire time. The end was kind of but instead of seeing these canned replays, since this was all post, he was able to actually show you the important part of the play during that replay time in a lot of different angles.
Yeah, instead of the default replay, he went back through and recorded camera angles that were specific to the goal that was scored to best show what happened.
Nice.
Yeah,
then in between the matches, he would introduce the players. There were cinematics in between where he was going over, who won this, and he'd be moving on to this. And it was just this really cool, big production. And nothing like that had been done before.
It was done in a way where you didn't need to know the guys. Whenever Cruxer would come up, it would explain
Cruxer.
Sorry, I always say Cruxer. But it would say, like, this guy is the best defender in the world, blah, blah, blah. And he would actually give you the background on the players. Mm-hmm. So he would actually build up why this player is one of the 12 best in the world.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that Valve would do something like that for Dota and TI. Like, 6 months after TI, they come out with the highlight reel or something, which is, a 3-hour or 2-hour movie showing just the very best, most dramatic moments of the international. Kind of like they did with free-to-play, but, that took them years to make, so...
Yeah.
Tom,
this is asking for a lot.
This is the equivalent of you putting up $500 of your own dollars and doing it. Not having Valve do it, doing it.
Just some guy.
I totally get it, and it's super impressive. I just wish that there was more of it.
There were 10,000 people watching it.
Watch some of it, Tom. You should definitely watch some of it. But,
I saw the
one
trailer.
thing that was cool. Yeah, the trailer's great. One thing that was cool about it, though, is the tournament format. Most tournaments in Rocket League, because the games are only 5 minutes long, it's kind of like anything can happen. Like a weaker team can beat a bigger team for one game, but they're not going to beat them, in a best of 5 series or even a best of 3 series. But what this guy did was single elimination bracket, but each match is only one game. So you have 5 minutes to beat this person, and if you lose, you're out. There's no second place prize pool. There's no third place. Nothing. So I think what he was...
That's dramatic tension.
Very much a sudden death situation. And it got some kind of flack from some of the competitive tournament organizers and stuff. Like, It's not a good format to see who is the best player, but he put a good counter argument of, it's to see who can deliver when it matters the most.
And that's a good way to put that.
Yeah.
And to go with the discussion that everyone will be seeing from us later when we post it up. But this is something that helps draw in the crowd. Yes, this isn't the best pure player because this does have a little bit of random since it's a single elim. But it is the funnest to watch because there is more tension in every second of the match.
It's more about the spectacle and less about who is actually the best player,
And when when that one guy fucks up that shot and the other guy takes it to his net, fuck, it's over. He's got no more chances. It's done.
Yeah.
Well, we were watching it in a Discord with, I think there was about 8 of us in there.
Yeah.
And then whenever someone would make a move, fuck the caster. You would hear all of us just go, oh,
yeah, it was
shit.
Cool.
I love watching tournaments inside of Vent or TeamSpeak or Mumble or Discord now, whatever one. But I remember watching TI4 on a Mumble server with some guys, and we were all screaming USA when EG went to started climbing the ranks. It was fantastic.
And one more thing I want to say about it, just correct me if I'm wrong, won by a 13-year-old.
Oh, spoilers.
Oh,
yes.
Shit. Sorry. Well,
Sorry, everybody.
You don't know how old anyone else is, so for all you know, every one of them is 13 years old.
They're all 13, actually.
All of them are 13.
Eric was making a joke. That's what it was.
See, it's
But no,
funny.
definitely check it out. It's all on YouTube. 1080p, beautiful cinematic quality. Even if you just watch some of it just to see how it was presented, it's really interesting.
I'm going to watch that tonight.
If you're a sports guy, not a video game guy, and somehow stumbled upon this shit, you should still watch it because it is very sportsy. And it honestly felt like watching March Madness on crack.
Why watch the Mega Cup this weekend when you could watch the 12 Titans?
Yeah. It was like if they made March Madness like a blockbuster movie.
Yeah. Honestly, the fact that it wasn't live made it better.
Yeah.
It wasn't live and nothing got leaked. So everyone
I'm impressed. I'm impressed that a bunch of young kids in the community didn't spoil the results of that tournament in the 2 weeks it took to edit it.
I'm wondering if he had like an NDA or something they all signed.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or honor among rocket cars.
Man, if I'm putting up a $500 of my own dollars, I need to know these fuckers aren't leaking it because I'm banking on people coming to my Twitch.
Yeah.
So
that would, wow.
So
what have you played, Eric? That's about all I've played. What have you played?
Really just 3 things. Rocket League, lead chess, yeah. But I got back into Don't Starve Together.
Yes.
You and everyone got back into Don't Starve Together.
Yeah, I think I hinted at it last week. I think I started playing Thursday or something like that. But I got my buddy tried to give me a key to Stardew Valley. It was already redeemed, so it's like, fuck, I got that itch. And then Don't Starve is kind of what I went to. So me and a couple buddies, well, yeah, I won't say names right now just because I was trying to say the tags, but I can't remember. But we're playing, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, fucking boss spawns on us, wrecks our shit. I've put some decent amount of time in Don't Starve. I've never seen that boss.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like this huge, like abominable snowman looking body, but he had like sticks for legs and arms. And whenever I was at 3/4 health, he one hit me when my armor ran out.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was bad.
So you're playing on easy.
Art style.
What was that, Adam?
I said I love that game's art style.
The art style is beautiful.
Yeah.
The fact that the game is so difficult, and it's hard for some people because the game's designed to where you're dead, start over. It's very, I don't really want to draw a lot of comparisons, but like Isaac, it's a run-based thing.
It's roguelike.
Yeah.
It's
much longer runs.
Well, what I mean, though, it's run-based. Even if it isn't roguelike, it's still run-based. Your end goal is to the game end and you completely restart. And not like a 30-hour epic, but like 15 minutes in, you die, you start over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some people that's an instant turnoff because they're used to the big AAA titles. So, I don't know how much I've talked about this in the past, but in general, try it out. It's really fun. If you're a Minecraft Terraria kind of guy, there is some crafting in it that's fun. That mixed with like a little bit of Harvest Moon, I think is what I would compare it.
I would say Minecraft mixed with Tim Burton mixed with Harvest Moon.
Yeah, definitely Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, definitely.
You have to mention the Tim Burton.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It is not a happy-go-lucky world. It's not like
not
dark
so
and
much.
dreary by any means, but
No.
it's playfully scary.
And
Think
also,
Nightmare Before Christmas style.
I gotta say, I love pixel art in 3D spaces.
Yeah.
Love it. Because it makes, I mean, it's not 16-bit pixel art, but I mean that flat paper-esque kind of graphics in a 3D realm.
Yeah, definitely paper-esque.
We haven't played it since what? We played it in the beta, didn't we? Don't Starve Together, Eric?
Yeah, we got like to the second year.
Is there a lot more content now that you're playing it now? Are you noticing new things?
Yes. There's like new, instead of just rabbits, you have like moles that will actually eat shit on the ground. So like I've burnt an entire forest to the ground to get charcoal. I didn't realize they were doing this. They were going in and eating the fucking charcoal. So I was getting pissed.
Those aren't very smart moles, are they?
Nah. Well, carbon, man. They run on carbon. But it's added that tree petrification, where trees will petrify and then they just don't go away.
Oh.
It'll rain frogs. And frogs, you're thinking, oh, it's just frogs.
Yeah.
These fuckers spawn aggressive. They hit you with their tongues.
Oh, Jesus.
They do a decent amount of damage, but when they hit you, it pulls an item from your inventory. So if it's good, you find yourself running back where there's 3 more frogs and you lose more shit. So it eventually turns into I have to walk away from the situation. This game is all about that. If you cannot walk away from something, you are going to, hate is not the right word. You are just going to despise everything about this game. It is going to make you, wince with how much you have to step away from stuff.
I spent a lot of time running when we played.
Yes, there's a whole lot of running, especially when the hounds come.
See, I still haven't played it. I've watched this being played a whole lot, but I don't know. I kind of got burned on all the crafting games, because it seemed everyone and their mother had a crafting game out at the same time.
It is, but it isn't. I mean, yes, it is heavy craft focused, but I mean, the whole point is pure survival, where most crafting games aren't survival. Like Terraria, unless you go to hardcore mode, not survival. You die, you respawn, you go. But I mean, it's definitely not something that I've found that if I'm stressed out, this is not a game I want to play. It is just going to put me over the fucking edge. And I'm like, no, stay away.
So if you're stressed out, what games do you play?
Man, you made that feel canned.
No, it was perfect. It wasn't planned at all.
No, that's a good question, though.
Honestly, this game got a bad rap. I loved it for it. No Man's Sky. It is fucking chill out and just go.
I can see that. That's fair.
I like Elite Dangerous when I'm stressed out, because I'll go to YouTube, put on relaxing video game music compilations, 6 hours, put that in the background, put on my Vive, and then just sit there in my spaceship looking at a star or something, and just chill in the blackness of space.
So, I agree 80% of the time, but then all of a sudden a fucking dogfight comes out, and it is the most stressful situation you will ever fucking be in, because, oh shit, I'm going to lose my ship.
Yeah.
You just gotta have that insurance payout, man. You just gotta have that insurance money.
This might be kind of a weird one, but, well, certain aspects of it. The Witness. Just walking around in the world is so peaceful, and the visuals are so soft and beautiful. Maybe not the puzzles if I'm stressed. If I'm especially mentally stressed, I don't want to necessarily try to figure out these hard cerebral puzzles, but
it depends. Just if you're at the beginning of a level and it's really simple, actually that checkbox, I got this done,
That's true.
Can kind of help. Okay, coaxing, and then once you get to a kind of hard spot, turn around and just look how beautiful the fucking world is.
I guess that would serve as kind of a reset, but that would be definitely one of the games I could play when stressed.
Sometimes I need a game where I can just get away. And there are some worlds that I escape to, and believe it or not, this is a weird one, because I hardly ever talk about this game. But occasionally I will fire up Mario Sunshine and just hang around Delfino Plaza. Because it's a nice tropical area, there's fruit everywhere, I can just be Mario and jump on shit. It's got nice happy music in the background, maybe do some light platforming. It's just a chill place to be all the time.
Yeah, I don't think Mario has ever been a go-to for me. I mean, I enjoy it. It's just, I'm too driven when I play that game. It's I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. It's just not good for me.
I know the games too well. They've become relaxing. They're not challenging.
I mean,
well, I take that back. Sometimes they're challenging. They're not often challenging.
The only weird thing I have when I'm chilling that I'll play sometimes is The Binding of Isaac. Which feels really weird.
To chill. Okay.
Because
I don't know about that one.
I'm so detached with the idea of dying in that game because, I mean, I've had a streak of like 40 straight deaths without a victory before. So, I mean, I'm okay with literally just chilling back and just getting as far as I can and dying and do it again and do it again. And then when I get a really good run, you can still be chill because you're OP.
Yeah, I could see that. I've had some very stressful, tragic moments in that game, though. That, like, getting to the final stage with the Lost and almost beating the boss and then getting hit and dying.
Okay, so for starters, you don't use the Lost if you're chilling out.
Well, that's true, but it was still traumatic, and I still think about it.
If I'm chilling, I choose Azazel. It's strictly Azazel.
Yeah. Well,
as I've told my old roommate, I don't care what he says, Azazel's OP.
That's true.
Starting with that baby brimstone.
They did debuff him, though, in some of the updates.
Yeah, they took his strength down, but he still had that continuous beam.
Yeah. But the Binding of Isaac is cool because you kind of play it in multiple ways. Like, there's also a pretty deep, like, strategic element of that game that I like to play sometimes, especially with Isaac with the rerolls. Like, I love trying to, like, decide when I should do something and when I shouldn't, and combining proper items together and using my keys and bombs as efficiently as possible. It's satisfying.
Isaac, the extreme anxiety right before you reroll. I mean, for that half second when you go to reroll, it's like, fuck, am I going to make a mistake?
Especially when it's like, all right, you re-rolled it. Okay, garbage item. I have a battery to recharge the re-roll. So you go get it. It's your last hope.
The anxiety builds the entire way back to the fucking room.
Yeah. Or when you have one more re-roll left and you re-roll before that and you get this item that's like, that's a pretty good item, but it's not great. And you're like, I have one more chance to re-roll. Do I do it? Do I maybe get the run saving incredible item, or do I re-roll it and get
poop
garbage? And it's like, oh, I should have just taken it.
The worst thing in the world is to re-roll and get magical bean. It's like automatic fuck.
Yeah, it's automatically you don't pick it up because it replaces your D6 anyway.
Yeah, that is the worst item in the game.
So in chat, Buck Masterson brings up a great point, which I completely forgot about. But there are games that I do go to when I need to chill. And he said virtually any simulator game, which I agree with. But for me personally, I go to City Skylines or SimCity 3000. Because especially SimCity 3000, you've got the nice soothing music. You've got like tornadoes and fire ripping through your city. Everyone's dying around you, and you're just sitting in your penthouse. Like,
you just feel wonderful.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck at all. But no, really, City Skylines in particular is just chill as fuck. I mean, just crank up that soft music. It's wonderful.
For me, cities, that kind of game, I have to be in the mood. I have to be wanting to be creative. I have to have been thinking a lot that day, but not burnt. Because then I come in, I'm like, okay, I do this, I do that. Like when I was playing, damn it, what's the new SimCity? Not SimCity, but
City Skylines.
City Skylines.
Yeah, Skylines. Thank you. For some reason, I was thinking that was the old Copper thing. Chopper with like
Simcopter. Oh my god, Simcopter. Yes,
no, City Skylines.
We should do a Simcopter stream sometime.
Fuck no. But the SimCities and the traffic. The traffic is so stressful for me. I can't get the fucking traffic right.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I have to get so OCD, completely destroy areas. I know our buddy Buck Masterson was talking about one time he had to completely redo an area because traffic's backing up on the interstate because of the way that they slow down to get off.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, to me, those just... Roller Coaster Tycoon is as close to a simulator as I can get and relax.
Mm-hmm. Did you play Planet Coaster?
I need to get it still.
It looks really good.
I've seen
some Let's Plays of it. It looks cool.
So it's from the guys who made Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
I believe so.
Because there was a split and Atari kept the license, but these guys essentially are Roller Coaster Tycoon. Atari can keep all the fucking license they want. These guys are the guys that made it.
So I know you guys were pretty heavy into RuneScape, but just like as a general genre, sometimes, especially when I'm burnt out at work, but I'm feeling sort of social, like I don't want to retreat from the world, I'll fire up an MMO, whether that's WoW or especially Guild Wars, because Guild Wars is free. You don't have to pay a monthly fee for it. And I'll go to a city square and do something mindless, like browse the shops or use the auction house or go kill rats or something.
RuneScape was great for that.
It's chill.
There were so many trade skills in RuneScape. If I was stressed or something, I would just go grab a pickaxe and just go mine. I would mine for hours. I wouldn't do anything else. I would literally just throw all the coal and shit in my bank. And that's something that the not stressed out Eric can deal with tomorrow. Right now, I'm just going to mine.
Yeah. I loved it because I wanted to, like, occasionally I just want to sit down and listen to gaming podcasts and not do anything else. But I feel really unproductive if I'm just sitting with headphones on staring at a wall. So I need to do something with my hands. So I'll go and, farm rat pelts or whatever in Guild Wars while listening to a couple hours of podcasts.
So Guild Wars had some sort of, well, it's an MMO, right?
Yeah.
But you can kind of play it both ways. You can go through the story missions by yourself, and then you can still trade and interact with other people too.
Yes, so
and they can join you on some of the missions.
So you have hubs.
A classical. Well, no. Guild Wars 2 has changed that. Guild Wars original, it was hub and spoke model. Guild Wars 2, it's a full world.
Okay.
Yeah, so it plays almost exactly like WoW, and I know some Guild Wars fanatics are gonna murder me later for saying that, but it plays almost exactly like WoW, except it's free. And I think the base game is free. I think you only have to pay for expansion packs at this point. So if you want to try an MMO, go for it.
I always like their model for that.
Yeah, it's nice, and it's actually a really good game. I go for it. I get into MMOs in spurts. Like, I will play hardcore for 2 weeks and then forget about it for a year. But Guild Wars is perfect because I'm not paying for it.
That's where my RuneScape is. I'll hate myself after 2 weeks so I realize how much time I put in it and then walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
It never even happened.
V. Dobby actually brought up a really, really big time game for chilling if you can get into those walking simulators.
I love walking simulators.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not chill, though. Gone Home was scary.
True.
But, I mean, okay, he specifically calls out Firewatch. So, I mean, there are definitely Virginia, those kind of... And I still am not a big... I like stories. Certain ones I'm okay with, but, Walking Dead, I think's okay. I know some people don't call it a walking simulator, but I put it really fucking close to it. Point and click and walking simulator is not that separated.
Yeah, not really. Not really. It's an excuse to get FPS people into the adventure game genre, is what it feels like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or the more story, emotionally driven experiences, too.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any games that, you get home and, shit's either on fire? Like, either you've had a bad day or you've had a really great day, and you just need a game to enter beast mode with to just go fucking all out and tear shit apart. I've got a few on my list, but I want to know Adam specifically, because you're kind of laid back and casual and, not so much Boy Scout helping old women across the street, but I don't punch people randomly kind of peaceful guy. How do you get rid of the stress?
So hold on. So not punching people is all it takes to be peaceful.
Basically,
just don't punch a motherfucker in the face and you're a good peaceful guy.
Yeah. I've got very low standards.
I tell you what, I don't have a lot of games that would help in that situation, but one game that I had a lot of fun in that way was honestly, Borderlands.
That's a good one.
And specifically Borderlands with friends.
Yes.
When you're all just storming this one area to get to this boss, and you've all got these crazy over the top guns, buffed with fire and explosions, and that was just
coordinate with everyone, make sure someone has a different element.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
yes.
was very satisfying.
That is one game that, as much as I have played of them and as much as I've loved them, I cannot play alone. I find the game actually kind of boring to play through alone.
I agree.
I played the whole first one by myself.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
I had a lot of fun with it.
I tried. I just couldn't get into it. As soon as as soon as I got co-op, I was like, there's no going back.
That was
I didn't know what I was missing.
That was during college work time. So when I would play games like that by myself, I would fall asleep with the controller in my hand.
Wow.
Like, it's pretty engaging gameplay right there.
I remember playing BioShock, and this is my 4th year of college, and I'm in my roommate's room. We're just sitting around talking. I'm playing BioShock. He's like dicking around on the piano or something. And then he realizes, he looks at the screen, and my guy's just doing circles, like in the wall, just spinning and spinning. He looks over at me, and he sees like my head's just falling back onto my shoulder, and I'm just like, oh. So yeah.
You fell asleep in Rapture. You know what happens when you actually fall asleep in Rapture? I'll leave that to the podcast listeners' imaginations. So I've got it's been maybe 2 whole podcasts since I've mentioned this game. But Doom 2016 is my game for entering beast mode. When I come home and I'm stressed, or I've had a great day and I just need to celebrate by tearing someone limb from limb and then beating them to death with their own arms, it's Doom. I love Doom.
So
other than that though, GTA, any GTA, drive on the sidewalk. Problems are instantly absolved.
There's a big call out for actually, if you're pissed off, need to get some steam out, go to Vive, do some VR.
Yeah,
smack some balls against the wall.
There's I forget what this game is called. I'm going to look it up here soon. But there's a baseball game on the Vive where you can get stuff pitched to you, and it's an entire baseball diamond of breakable shit.
Yes.
There's statues and dishes and a car and light bulbs and shit everywhere, and you hit baseballs at shit and break everything.
That's such a great idea for a game. It
is so satisfying. I think it was free. I don't think I even paid for that game.
It's a shooting gallery in a baseball diamond, and you're just hitting the ball instead of shooting shit.
I'm going to look that up, because if you have a Vive, it's seriously one of the best experiences I've ever had. I go back to it every, at least once a week, because it's just so nice to break shit all the time.
You're going to hear me say right now what I say about a lot of VR games. It is nothing more than a fucking tech demo. So if you enjoy just random ass shit for 20 minutes at a time, it's probably okay for you. If you want a game, nope.
Yeah, it's not a game. It is I need to find a room with a bunch of breakable shit and just have my time. It's definitely one of those.
But yeah, for me, beast mode used to always be Halo 3. I would come back from class.
That's because you were so good at it.
I would ignore all of my homework, and I would just pick up the stick and go to Halo 3. God, I played a shit ton of that. It started with Halo 1, then it got better at Halo 2, and Halo 3 was the first time it was on 360, completely beautiful internet interaction. I can kick anyone's ass from anywhere in the world. Fuck yes. And then Griffball came out, and I'm like, fuck shooting. I'm just going to run around with a goddamn hammer and a skull and just beat people to death.
I'll tell you what, that hammer was satisfying.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes,
to hit somebody with that was perfect.
There's not many first-person shooter moments that were quite that satisfying. Maybe like a Tom Clancy with a single-shot assault rifle, and that's about the only other thing where you just get that thud. Or maybe COD when you're using a sniper rifle in Modern Warfare, the first one.
I don't know. Super Shotgun Doom 2?
This is honestly something where I think vibration does help. You get that thud sound, you feel it, it's just like, oh yeah, that's good. Right there.
I could get that. So you guys don't turn up your sound when you're playing Doom loud enough to shake the room? Am I the only one? Okay.
Yeah.
No, not so much.
I haven't played loud volume games in a while. Last time I did was like Halo 2 with surround sound. God, that was awesome.
God of War is a good game for that.
Yes.
I forgot about that. I used to have the God of War, I don't even remember which one it was, 3 or something, demo on my PlayStation 3. Every once in a while, I would just play through it because it was just so unnecessarily violent.
Yes.
It was...
just picking up somebody and just literally tearing them in half at the torso. It's so stupid and
but it
excellent.
it unleashes a primal rage that we desperately need in this modern society.
There's only one other game I could put on that level, and that's Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
Where you just literally run and fucking slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thousands.
Speaking of which, I was under a rock. Did you guys know that I think it was Team Ninja actually did Hyrule Warriors?
Yes, I did.
A fucking Dynasty Warriors in the Zelda universe?
Yeah, and I played it. It's actually really good. It's a little repetitive, but it's really good.
Didn't they do a Gundam one?
Yes, that one was really cool.
I didn't know about that.
I never did play it. Yeah, there's a Gundam one.
I played it in 2007, and I think it came out around then. It was for the 360 era. It was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really good. So, one thing I will say for the whole beast mode is that, like you pointed out, it can't be a game I suck at.
No.
Like, that's honestly why Rocket League is not that for me. I have some matches I destroy, but there's some nights where Buck Masterson, V. Dobby, and I will get on and play, and we'll go 1 for fucking 10.
Yeah, there's no worse feeling than needing a beast mode game and then utterly failing at said beast mode game. It's just, It's not a good feeling. That's why Dark Souls is not my beast mode game.
Absolutely not. That's more of
Dark Souls is my quiet contemplation game. That's where I need to sit, I need to focus and center my inner chi. Or however you say that. But if I need to sit and like focus and chill and put my mind into one situation, it's Dark Souls.
Yeah, to work your brain out, definitely.
What games do you guys play when you're happy? And this has been mentioned in chat, so I'm just going to throw this out right now. Katamari Damacy. If I'm just looking for a fun, happy time where I can listen to some of the raddest music ever created in the history of this planet, it's Katamari. All the way.
So, a game I found myself going to a lot when I was happy or when I was just kind of like empty. I didn't have a whole lot of emotion going. It was Reuse. The whole God Simulator type of game where it's just you're creating stuff, you're kind of planning out how you want the world to be. But it's just always this is going well. Because there was no lose condition to the game. You just maybe didn't get your achievement you were going for, but there was no lose condition to the game. Which is actually kind of cool. Keeps you from getting all bummered.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
At the risk of sounding like a super pessimist, when I'm happy or I'm having a decent day or whatever.
Oh no.
I often play horror games because those are not, and my reasoning is I don't want to play those games when I've had a bad day already. Like you have to come into those games centered on yourself in some way before you start the grueling process of slogging through the existential crisis of Soma or trying not to get slaughtered by the alien in Alien Isolation. Games like that. If I'm having an okay day and I feel confident enough in my well-being to subject myself to horror, that's when I would do it.
I don't know, man. I was going through that Res 7 trailer or demo, and I was in Discord with D-Laz, and Gina was sitting next to me, and I just my demeanor just changed because of that game. I mean,
you have to know when to step away from games like that.
I was in such a good mood. I'm like, I'm going to try this out. And it's like, fuck, this is creepy. God damn, this is creepy. I'm just thinking the whole time, PlayStation has a VR adaptation to this? Holy fuck.
And I hear that's the best way to play it.
Yeah, and there's an appeal to games if you're into horror stuff. There's those moments where something really gets you, and you're like, oh god, but then you step away for a second and you think like, man, that was really effective. That was thrilling. That was cool how they did that. You kind of step back for a second and reel it in and appreciate what it was.
You see, I thought I wanted that one time, and then I purchased Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location.
Oh, that's
the Sister Location.
That doesn't even count. That's
so
a
Five
novelty
Nights
game.
at Freddy's, it's jump scares, but there's feel like there's something you can do. Sister Location, they try to put some shitty storyline where you have to go explore places.
Oh,
I appreciate Five Nights at Freddy's for the amount of sales it made with as little gameplay as it actually had. It was very effective at what it wanted to accomplish, and it accomplished it with such little tools or such little actual gameplay. But I didn't like it necessarily. I didn't dislike it, but I understand its appeal. It's just not for me. It's literally a game of jump scares.
And it is. It is absolutely. But I think that's actually part of the fun thing about it, at least the first one. It's a jump scare that if you do your shit right, won't happen. And I think that's part of the appeal, is you can prevent yourself from pissing your pants. It just so happens you go through 5 pair before you stop yourself.
The last time I played Five Nights, I spilled coffee all over my pants. That was...
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was
That's never good.
Good time. A game that I play when I'm happy is any of the Grand Theft Autos. Because I can hang out, I can shoot a guy in the face, watch him crash his car. Like, yeah, that's a good time. Or I can pick up like beer bottles and throw them at random pedestrians, because that's fun. Really, I think for any mood, a really nicely honed open world game like GTA, and I'm specifically referencing GTA 5, but I go back to Vice City a lot. For a nicely honed open world game, you could fit that into any mood. You need to chill out, turn on V-Rock, and then just cruise down the main Vice City strip. Need to get some anger out? Drive on the sidewalk. Stab an old woman. Whatever. It's GTA. Need to be happy? Go chill on the beach. Ride dirt bikes through the mountains. Like, you could do anything.
Actually, there was a really, really big game I used to play a lot of that I forgot about for the whole chill aspect. And it actually, when I was kind of happy, I played it too, because it wasn't quite as simmy as the rest of them. Need for Speed Most Wanted, but the whole race game genre.
Oh, yeah.
I find those as really nice, kind of chill.
I don't. I feel the exact opposite.
Really?
You feel anxiety?
Racing games stress me out, but I don't like driving, like commuting every day. I hate.
That's true.
I loathe driving. And racing games are different than commuting, of course, but it's just racing games in general stress me out. The only racing game that doesn't is Mario Kart, and that's because it's fucking Mario Kart.
See, I'm the complete opposite. Mario Kart, I get like ultra competitive side where there's no reason any bot should ever beat me. Like, actually, one of the first few times I was hanging out with Gina, it was Mario Kart. Her and one of her friends over there, and it got to the point where I'm just like, fuck, I'm being way too goddamn competitive about this, but I gotta fucking win.
Oh, man.
I'm surprised that worked out well. She saw you play Mario Kart.
Once and only
Usually
once.
you don't walk away from that.
Competitive games will ruin friendships.
Yes.
And Eric, you're a very competitive person, aren't you?
Yes, I am. That's why I have friends I can do competitive games with, and then there's groups that I just don't. Like, I've yelled at Tom, and Tom's yelled at me about doing stupid shit in Dota a lot.
Oh,
it just
all
happens.
the fucking time. All the time.
I had a buddy back home, Cost, that would always scream that the controller wasn't doing what he was saying during fighting games.
I've actually got Dota on this list because some days I want to feel like better than my fellow humans. I want to play something really competitive and kick some fucking ass. So Dota? I usually go to Dota for that. And it's a really nasty trade-off because when you're in that mood and you utterly fail, which happens a lot in Dota, at least it happens a lot to me in Dota, then it tilts you. It totally throws your mood for the whole day. You're just like, I went into this, I was expecting something, and I got the exact opposite. It's like trying to enter beast mode, and you just fail at life in that game. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Competitive games can definitely be stressful. I am probably the least competitive person that I know.
And yet you are the only Pro-Am Rocket League player I know.
Exactly. Rocket League has been the only competitive game I've really gotten into in any, I don't want to say serious, but serious-ish.
Yeah, you're serious on it.
I'm playing to improve specifically, and I've never had a game do that before, so that's cool.
So have you guys ever had a game where you're just like, I feel I need to play this? Like just an old game where it's like, I need that feeling right now. I need what I used to have.
A nostalgia game?
Oh, like a nostalgia. Oh man!
Oh, I have all of the nostalgia
I've got some rose-tinted glasses in the drawer here. Let me get them.
my entire... Okay, so 72-pin connector, for those of you who don't know, originally launched as a ROM blog / podcast where we talked about and reviewed old-ass games. We were going to go through the entire NES library. Now, that died a long time ago, but I basically only play old shit. Most of the time. Sometimes I play new shit, but it's mostly old shit. My big game that I go to all the time is Ocarina of Time. I mean, I've got everything down to a science. I can run that like no one's business. But I never speedrun Ocarina of Time. It's a place I want to be. So I go through the world, I take my time, I listen to the wonderful, amazing music of the Zelda series, and I just enjoy my time. I run through the water temple because fuck that place. But everything else is cool.
You see, you say...
Not even rose-tinted glasses can save the water temple.
You say about nostalgia game where you just want to chill. I have a couple nostalgia games I'm really big on, but the only one I've ever had where I just like, yeah, I can stay in the first level and just stay there. Echo the Dolphin.
I can see that.
It's such a chill game while you still get high stress when you almost run out of air.
I always forget that's a game.
I do like all of the old Sonic games. Any Sonic game on the Genesis, with the exception of 3D Blast, I can sit and play for hours because that was my jam.
Absolutely.
And that music. Something about old video game music is so good.
Chemical Plant Zone, by far the best.
Casino Night Zone. Oh my god.
Yeah, that too. That was a cool level.
So Adam, let me guess.
Everything Sonic.
You're a Kojima guy when it comes to nostalgia.
Yeah. I start playing the first Metal Gear Solid again every 2 years, 3 years. There's always just this moment where I'm like, God, Metal Gear Solid was cool. I'm gonna play the first one again. And that was a game that when I was younger, when it came out, I beat that game like 12 times over the course of the first couple of years that game was out. So every now and then I'll have to go back through and play, and I never actually finish it again, but I have to go back through and play through some of it and just experience that again.
So Buck Masterson actually called out another big one for me. And I actually play it very similar to him. He says pretty much he pulls it out, he'll play it hard for a week or two, and then he won't touch it again for another 5 years. I was actually to the point on 2 PCs ago, and I completely forgot to transfer my fucking save, so it's gone. I had the original one with all the expansions, and I had completed all of the initial parks and done all of the challenges on the initial parks. So I was actually systematically going down. So it was just, I don't do well with that game because I do that. I just keep playing it and I keep trying to get the checklist items, and then I'll completely forget about it for years, and then I'll come back and do the same exact fucking thing again. But it's such a good game. I enjoy just making the coasters, doing the bank, seeing how fucking insane I can make a roller coaster, yet still get them to ride it without pissing their pants.
Sometimes when I have, a spare 10 minutes and I need to feel a small bit of accomplishment, I'll fire up Mario 3 and just run my way as fast as I can using the warp whistles to World 8. I don't usually go much beyond that because once I get to World 8, I can settle down and say, okay, I did it, I'm here. Shut the game off, I'm good.
Well, because then it gets
I got
hard.
my Mario in.
Nice.
Yeah, then it gets hard. Then it becomes a real game instead of, a cakewalk.
I've never beat Mario 3.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
It's difficult.
8's brutal.
Yeah, it is. The first time I beat Mario 1 was not on the NES. It was on the Game Boy Color re-release. And goddamn, that game. World 8 in there was not a joke either. I remember when games were hard. I say as I'm playing through Dark Souls.
Right.
So
Did you guys play much Tony Hawk's Pro Skater?
God, yes.
I don't think it aged well, though.
Yes, it did. On the Dreamcast, it absolutely did.
I mean, I played some at Barcade.
I'm just pretending I'm a Superman, all right? Don't be hating. I'm just holding on to what I am.
All I would ever do is grind and manual to the next thing, grind, manual to the next thing, do some kick trick off, manual, and then you have like a times 10 multiplier. It's like, yes.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. You got to get those combos. And I'm not talking about the snack.
Though those are pretty damn well.
I love combos.
So there's only really 2 other games I ever go back to. The original Pokemon.
Oh,
yeah. And I don't mean Fire Red. I mean Red Blue. Get a fucking Game Boy emulator.
Yep.
Nice.
And then Ogre Battle 64. I'll always come back to that game for fucking ever. That is probably my favorite game of all time.
One thing about the original Pokemon games, and this must have something to do with just the low fidelity of chiptune music and how easy it is to get that stuck in your head. But anytime I played one of the original Pokemon games, I am humming those goddamn tunes for weeks afterwards. Battle tunes, not Lavender Town, because that's a little creepy, but like all I'm walking down the road to the city and like it's just, oh my god. I love old video game music.
Nice.
So, from old games, there's some new games actually coming out that are really fucking exciting this month. Starting actually next week. Sony's got a fucking killer lineup next month. But next week, we have Nioh coming out. For those who don't know, Nioh is from Team Ninja. They are the ones who did the Hyrule Warriors, but most notably, Ninja Gaiden. And this game looks to be a blend of Ninja Gaiden meets Dark Souls.
It looks really good.
It does look good. I like the style for sure.
So back to the beast mode thing. Ninja Gaiden is a game that always made me feel like such a badass with the combos and stuff that you were able to pull off in that. And it's all fluid.
And it was a pain in the goddamn ass is what it was.
Yes. And I'm
fucking
hoping
hell, Ninja Gaiden.
It looks this way, but I'm hoping that the fluid combat continues with this and that they're just bringing in the RPG elements of Dark Souls to it. And like the items and all that stuff.
That'd be nice. Now, didn't Team Ninja have to release Ninja Gaiden Black? Like, basically re-release the same game on the Xbox, but patch in an easy mode?
Yes. That's absolutely what they had to do.
That's what I thought. That's how you know your game is hardcore.
That's how you know your game is good.
Yeah, oh fuck. We're killing too many people. We should probably patch in an easy mode.
It is so hard, yet so good, that people enjoy it, but want it easier. They don't get pissed off because it's so hard. It's good, but they can't beat it.
Update notes. Added easy mode. Sissies.
That'd be great.
You're gonna have to let me know how that is when you check it out.
Yeah, everyone will know. February 9th, there will be a stream on our Twitch, and I will be streaming that game that night, and probably the next night.
I will be watching.
I am very excited about that game. Already got it pre-ordered. It's supposed to arrive day of. Amazon pre-orders. Boom.
Nice.
Next game is For Honor. Now, I know we were all looking at this game a little bit beforehand. For those who aren't familiar, it's kind of a hack and slash medieval game and it's medieval in the realistic sense of medieval, like swords, shields, maces, and shit, not dragons and wizards. So this is like it's when it appears, I'm not well versed in it. It's going to be very hack and slashy RPG style. There's going to be multiplayer, and there'll be like control points and stuff which you're trying to keep. So it'll be like this big epic battle area while you're still trying to hold control points and such like that.
That's cool.
The gameplay looks really good.
It does.
And
I have large reservations, but I will rant in a bit after you guys are done with the actual talking about the game.
I mean, I just think it looks really solid. If you like medieval type of games, I think this would be for you. It's not the first-person game like Crusaders is. It's more third-person action-y than Crusaders.
Yeah.
This is meant to be a faster game.
I like the sudden influx of like melee combat instead of gun combat. And I know it's like 2 games coming out in short succession, but it could be really cool.
I think it'll be fun. Now, Tom, you have beef with publishers. Would you like to elaborate?
Yes. I'm not buying this. I just won't. I won't. I think this game looks great. It looks buttery smooth. The frame rate, the graphics, everything about it looks like it would be a fuck ton of fun all the time. But it's Ubisoft, and I can't ever buy anything from Ubisoft ever again for one reason and one reason alone. I'm not installing Uplay. I won't do it. I simply won't do it. You can't make me do it. They could release Half-Life 3. Like, Valve could go under, Ubisoft buys their assets somehow, releases Half-Life 3, Portal 3, and Team Fortress 3 in the gold box. But you have to install Uplay to use it. I would quit gaming. I would find a mountain hole and I would live in that cave.
Wow.
Yeah.
But if you found out that Gabe bought Ubisoft, no changes made, he's downloading it today.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The moment Steam fuses with Uplay and it becomes like Steam, oh, I'm in. Sign me up. But yeah, Ubisoft, I think, has got a really nasty habit of either releasing something awesome or utter dog shit, and it's never in between. And we've seen that with half of the Assassin's Creed series is pretty good, half of it is just, we can ignore this forever. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm sure the game will be good, but I'm not installing Uplay for it.
If it gets enough good reviews, I will. Call out for everyone to know who wants to try it out. I think actually on the 9th is a free open beta. So if you're interested at all in the medieval hand-to-hand combat, it will be free the 9th. And there is a good chance I might actually try to get on that this next weekend, just to try it out. Because one of my friends has played it and does like it a lot.
Yeah, I'll definitely be trying that for sure.
I am a big proponent of if it's free and it's a beta, why the fuck not try it? You're out nothing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Speaking of free betas, I participated in one last week, and it's a game coming out the 21st, Halo Wars 2. I don't think there's a whole lot to be said about it. It's a sequel. They're adding a new game mode with the cards, which could be interesting. Play cards to deploy units. I don't know. Not much to say. It's a console FPS.
Yeah, it's not generating a lot of buzz because the first one didn't really do that well. But it was a pretty decent game. Like, it was pretty cool. So
it was good for console RTS.
It's a good console RTS. And it's also a Halo lore thing. If you're big into Halo lore, the first one was great. I can't speak to this one yet, but the first one was fantastic for Halo lore. So if they continue that, it'd be pretty sweet. And then here is the fucking checkmate that Sony has in February. February 28th, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Speaking of lore,
this looks really
fucking
good.
Amazing.
I want to know the lore of this game.
So I was going to be in a little predicament come March 3rd. I'm going to have one Switch in my house with a over-the-top Zelda fan living with me. Gina is over the top with Zelda. So I know I'm not getting my hands on that fucking Switch for at least a week or two.
You're getting sloppy seconds of Breath of the Wild for sure.
Yes, but this is releasing.
You're not touching that game until she's done with it.
Horizon Zero Dawn is my savior because I will be so caught into this game that she can actually spend the hour or 100 hours she needs to get through that Zelda. Because I know she's going to be searching for fucking everything.
As she should.
In this game, this Horizon Zero Dawn just looks insane.
It looks cool.
So if you haven't seen the trailer, definitely throw it on your YouTube list, make a note, check it out right after the podcast, because one of my favorite parts about this game, and I haven't even played it, right? I know almost nothing about it, but the aesthetics alone are amazing. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, okay, this is cool. There's like some, like almost prehistoric woman, and she's got a bow, and she's running through the woods, and yeah, okay, we're going back in time. I guess that's pretty cool, because most games are concerned with the future, and then she's fighting a robot. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's not like post-apocalyptic stuff is what it looks like. It looks like prehistory mixed with high-tech robot shit. What the fuck? Holy shit, this looks amazing.
It makes me...
It's like the Elder Scrolls meets, like Titanfall or Metal Gear Solid Rising or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's such a weird mash where to look at it, it looks weird, not in a bad way, but I mean, it's just like robots with bows and arrows and stuff. But it blends beautifully to look at. I'm really intrigued to hear what the story is. How they're looking and living so primitively, yet there is these incredibly sophisticated machines.
Yeah, it's definitely probably one of the most grabbing worlds without knowing a damn thing about the story or about the world itself. I'm hooked. I'm interested. Like, I'm sold. Tell me more. My only issue is I'm never going to be able to play this. I don't have a PS4.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
This will be another game I'll be streaming, so you guys can play vicariously.
Nice.
Now,
we'll just watch you play. We'll just watch you play everything. You can just start playing games for us, and we'll just watch you play. Save us the trouble.
Actually,
I'll still make judgment calls, and I'll still be judging and hate on the games that you play, but I'm not even going to touch them.
And the way you specifically play them.
Yes, yeah, we'll mob play it. We'll do like Twitch plays Pokemon.
Yeah, that'll be great.
That'll work great for an action RPG, right?
Backseat drivers, let's do it.
Twitch plays Dark Souls?
No.
Maybe later.
Oh, God. There's it's just the you died screen the whole time.
Are you guys ready for the plot twist of this is actually Skynet?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it could happen.
It's probably something like that.
Yeah, that would be fucking terrible. And it looks like there might be some support in the chat for the idea of playing or doing a choose your own adventure gameplay.
That might actually be cool. I could make that work depending on the RPG. We could do that with Mass Effect. Holy shit, that would be amazing. Go through all 3 Mass Effect games before Andromeda, but have the Twitch chat do choose your own adventure. We have to pick a night for it.
Yeah.
This could be cool. I've got a lot of ideas now.
Oh, God. Tom's on a run.
Oh, my God. This is great.
Once you get him started.
Guys, podcast closed. We're done here. I've got stuff to work on.
Sure you do. Just get on Dark Souls, get everything ready for people to tell you to run naked around with no weapons and punch everything in the face.
Yes. I had to do that, actually, to get through some poison. It was bad. Naked running is a legitimate strategy in Dark Souls. And life. As it turns out. Who knew? So we do have those are going to be the February big releases. We'll let you know if anything else sneaks its way in. We do have a couple quick news items to go over in general gaming news. The founder of Namco has died at the age of 91. So lived a good long while.
It's not something that really affects the gaming community anymore, but was definitely a pioneer that really, really was influential at the beginning.
Yeah. He helped, bring Pac-Man to a wide audience. He didn't create Pac-Man. A lot of news stories got this wrong with a bunch of clickbait headlines that were just awful. But Namco did publish Pac-Man and enable it to become, the worldwide success that it was back in the day and still is today. So, the family has expressed their want for privacy and patience during this time, so, don't tweet at them or send them letters or knock on their front door. But respect.
We'd be remiss not to at least mention him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's an OG.
OG.
I do have one more news item before I'm going to throw it to Urk for his shady dealings on shady practices. But speaking of shady practices, if you're on Steam, don't leave fake reviews of your own goddamn game, you fucking retard.
So I'm not familiar. Please explain this.
Yeah, elaborate.
Okay, so this guy, and Lunyov? I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation. I will add this link to the show notes. If you look up...
Just call him Tim.
Yeah, if you look up Gamma Sutra, devs don't post positive Steam reviews of your game under fake names, you'll find it there. But Tim went ahead and posted a bunch of fake positive reviews on Steam of his early access game under different accounts. Believe it or not, Valve does pay attention to this shit. And when they find out, you get yanked. So him and his game are gone. Now, he is doing the honorable thing. He's falling on his sword and he said, yeah, this was stupid, this was wrong, and I deserve everything I get. Valve is not in the wrong, don't take it out on them. I fucked up.
That's good, at least. He's not trying to...
He's not trying to
claim he didn't do it.
He's not trying to trick people into buying a game that's not as good as he's trying to say it is?
Yeah, he's not whining about it. He's owning his mistakes. While it was a shit mistake, this does show devs, hey, Valve does pay attention to this shit, and you don't have to have a huge media backlash like DayZ did. Or was it DayZ? It wasn't DayZ.
No, what was that game?
H1Z1.
H1Z1.
I thought it was something else.
With what?
Something else? There was some zombie game, some DayZ like clone that got yanked after everyone started complaining about it because it wasn't actually a game.
Oh yeah,
it was.
Never mind.
Yeah, it was not DayZ. It was something else. But this proves that Valve is watching. Even if you don't get a crazy media backlash, if you are doing shady things on the Steam store as a developer, you'll get pulled. So don't do that.
Yeah. So can I say my shady news?
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So this is open season because I'm sure as gamers and watching stuff on computers and podcasts, you're probably someone who prefers digital media. So you're probably a Steam guy and go to GameStop for your, consoles if you need to. Well, there's been a interview, and I would love to source the source. It's I got it from Kotaku. Either way, regardless.
Kotaku.
Anonymous GameStop employees from multiple locations are coming forward explaining this new life cycle policy that GameStop has. So we all know GameStop makes most of their money off of used sales. That's no news flash. It's what they do, pre-sales and used games. Well, this new life cycle is broken into 4 sections: pre-orders, reward cards, trade-ins, and used games. And each one of those is split up into a quarter. And they're requiring people to meet metrics on every one of those. And the bad thing is, if you buy something new instead of and you don't hit any of those other quadrants, it goes against them. So it means you have to do more in those quadrants to counteract it. To the point where this will actually get held against you and potentially lead to you being fired. So yes, this is very shady structuring by a company. You should never incentivize that kind of stuff. It's very bad. But it gets worse. So
how does it get worse, Irk?
Oh, because the real shade starts. Because it's so what's happening is employees trying to guard their numbers are actually telling people that they do not have new copies of games that are actually in fact in stock to try to get people to purchase the used copies. Sometimes, it's they'll actually get something a little cheaper, so it's bad, but it's not too bad. Recently, Watch Dogs 2 was on sale for $40. New. Used for $55 still. They were telling people that they did not have used or new copies and having them go to used. There's a lot of people, what's happening is they're being forced to work releases when they know new games are in, and they're actually telling people that the only copies they have left are for pre-orders, even when they have extra stock in.
Oh, God.
This just keeps getting worse.
So the life cycle was pushed down from the corp. And then beyond that, the employees are taking their own careers into their own hands to make sure they don't get fired. And that is ending in really, really, really shitty customer experiences.
Yeah, one thing we do really, really want to stress is not to take this out on your local GameStop employee. Yes, if they are lying to you, technically that's wrong, but the bigger evil here is the incentive system. GameStop corporate has set up a system to where these people can lose their jobs if they're not selling you the right things. And they're going about it in the wrong way, of course, but it's the incentive system. It's GameStop corporate that we have to give a big fuck you to, because this is shady as fuck. There's no other way around this. The reason they don't want to sell new games is because they take less of a profit on it, right? If they sell used games, they've already sold that once, so the rest is literally money directly into their pockets. And the fact that you can even that it even occurs to you, okay, this new game is now cheaper than the used game, but I'm gonna push the used game on people? What the fuck, GameStop?
So I really see this turning to them going to stopping a lot of their game sales eventually, and just turn into essentially a thrift store and a memorabilia store that only does new games on releases. I could really see them going to that kind of a thing.
Possibly.
I think this will start to get to be less and less of a problem. But I mean, we'll see. Digital distribution is taking money out of the pockets of GameStop. And you know the Switch is going to rely on, well, I don't know, because they're going to the cartridge format, so never mind.
Yep. There will always
Who knows how long GameStop will last now?
Well, but yet, remember, GameStop's positioning itself for the digital world by buying ThinkGeek. They're trying to have... When's the last time you've been in a GameStop?
I try not to go into GameStop. Probably 6 months ago, I went just
multiple years.
I was just say about a third of them are pretty much. I mean, a third of the floor space in a store is memorabilia, at least.
I got a box of Game Informer magazines and rewards cards thrown at me while people started screaming at me, pre-order the latest Call of Duty, so I had to leave. It was like a zombie apocalypse in there. It was bad.
Actually, the last time I was in, I asked about a used copy of Sun or Moon. They didn't have it. I bought a puzzle, and they didn't bother me over shit. They didn't push anything, so I could tell that kid was giving zero fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I've gone in there, I just get pushed around. You buy this, pre-order this. I just don't give a fuck. I have a Steam account. I'm here for a gift card.
I completely understand them trying to push used games. I mean, if that's where they're making their money, obviously that's where they need to try to push their sales. But when you're risking the jobs of your employees and being so strict on that, and almost forcing them to do things they probably don't agree with either, just to try to keep their job, that's just...
Yeah, let's remember that, you know, GameStop employees, a lot of the people that work there went and applied to GameStop because they're gamers, right? I'm working around games all day.
Absolutely.
How bad could that be? That sounds like a great job. I would love to sell video games to people. That said, corporate, probably not, right? We don't know. I don't have those numbers, but there's no guarantee that they're, walking in off the street saying, wow, I love that speedrun of Dark Souls I was just involved in, and I'm going to play all of the video games tonight with my ColecoVision.
I will say, though, GameStop, I mean, they are an apparent company with Game Informer. Game Informer is good shit, though. GameStop sucks ass. I like Game Informer.
Game Informer has gotten a whole lot better over the past couple years. They really took a dip there for about 5 years where they just became utter shit compared to really IGN kind of took over their spotlight, but now kind of flipped back again. I don't know. I haven't found a great mainstream gaming news site that I really like.
I like IGN a lot. GI, I listen to their podcast, but that's about it. But
my issue with IGN is, Watch Dogs, worst game ever, 10 out of 10. No matter what. No matter what.
I could see that.
I don't know. They do some decent... They do kind of a mob mentality. And the worst thing is, though, the reviewers, you have to remember, they're getting pushed. They have to hurry up and get it out. Not to give good reviews, but you have a limited time to get as much of the game in as you can.
Probably depends on the reviewer too.
I remember the guy that was reviewing Final Fantasy 15 was on the Sony cast. And I mean, that game, you don't get 15 hours in, you're not even scratching the surface of it.
Right. Yeah, I know a lot of game review game reviewers, they'll get, 5 to 10 hours to play through a game, which for a modern shooter could be enough, right? Probably is enough. for something like The Witcher 3, Dark Souls, Final Fantasy. Absolutely not. You are still in the epilogue at that point. But they're still expected to get, front page news of their review right then that day.
And what sucks is that first 15 minutes is fantastic, but it repeats itself for the next 150 hours. So they think the game's fantastic, but I think we're parlaying that into a different discussion.
Yeah.
Right. It just now hit me like, hold on, where'd this just go?
A whole nother podcast.
To sum it all up, this weekend we're all going to go to our local GameStops and we're going to pre-order Horizon Zero Dawn, and we're going to pick up a couple of used copies of Resident Evil 7, and no, we're not going to do that.
Is there any day one? Is there any GameStop exclusive DLC? I won't buy it unless it's got GameStop exclusive DLC.
Yeah, give me that season pass. Give me the season pass.
Bags.
So bad.
Buy it with my power card. Get some game fuel while I'm there. And Doritos. Yes.
Nice.
Damn right.
Game fuel, baby.
Drink a verification can. After you've drank a verification can, you can talk about the For Honor beta that starts next week on February 9th.
Already gave it a quick shout.
Or Adam could talk about it. Either way.
Say already gave it that quick shout. Just, February 9th, For Honor free beta. Get on it. Also, forgot to put it in the notes for y'all, but this weekend, Rainbow Six Siege is free. Try it out. It's supposed to be fantastic, has a decent competitive scene to it, and if you like it, it is half off this weekend.
Nice. Sweet. We should play that.
And I think it comes with all DLC included. So you can try everything.
Huh.
Oh, so that when you do want to buy it, you want to buy all of it.
I don't know how to buy it.
If $700
makes sense. It honestly makes sense from a marketing perspective.
But either way, it's free to try. Give it a shot. I tried it beta. It's a different type of shooter than what I'm used to from in Rainbow Six. At least the maps I were playing were super close quarters. But
yeah,
we'll see.
From what I've seen, for sure.
In business news, ZeniMax has won their lawsuit against Oculus/Facebook/ John Carmack. Facebook/Oculus/John Carmack are now on the hook to pay ZeniMax $500 million, which is a decent amount of money, but when you compare it to Facebook's pockets, not a whole lot of money. Basically, the trial boils down to John Carmack, founded and worked for id Software, which got bought by ZeniMax, and then he saw the Rift, and he's like, wow, this is cool, so he started building a Doom 3 demo, and Oculus wanted to partner with ZeniMax, who had acquired id Software. Apparently that deal fell through. Carmack was really interested in VR. ZeniMax wanted nothing to do with VR, so at the day his contract ended, he left for Oculus. Oculus gets bought by Facebook, taking Carmack with him. ZeniMax gets pissed because they realize, holy shit, we missed the train, there's money involved here. They sue and find out that, yes, Carmack did take some code with him, not necessarily anything that was used directly in Oculus, but he did take code and he did try to wipe evidence.
So right now it's a lot of he said, she said. The actual court case has not come out. The only thing we know is that Carmack was not directly put into the case. He was a witness, and that was it. An exec that left ZeniMax was hit with NDA and something else. Carmack was under for the code stuff, and then the way he wiped the hard drive. The one thing that, even in his public statement, Carmack really skirted around what he was saying. He said that no code, how did he word it? Essentially that none of the code was used verbatim, except, he didn't use the word except, but he opened it up to the potential that the shaders were actually code that was swiped in the way that he worded that.
Well, one shader for a Doom 3 demo, which isn't even applicable today.
No, but here's the thing. Right. If in that shader technology you had a huge breakthrough, that could be extracted out to everything else. It's like when a pharmaceutical company comes with this breakthrough drug.
No, but a shader's not a breakthrough drug. A shader is like a breakthrough type of plastic that you would use in one of your syringes. No.
Shaders are very expensive on GPUs. If you find a cheap way of doing it, that is huge for VR, because VR needs to try to be as cheap as possible because it's inherently expensive.
My point is, it's not like he packaged up an entire game and took it with him, right? It's a component. And if he did use that verbatim, which we still don't know, right? Because we don't know anything at this point. It was just a component. So, in any case, NDAs were violated not just by Carmack, but by the founder of Oculus, Palmer Luckey. He was working as a contractor for ZeniMax at the time, and he was working on Oculus with company equipment while he was employed there on company time, is what it looks like right now. So, in any case, NDAs were broken, and yes, ZeniMax does have a legal right to that money. Personally, I think it's a cash grab because they said, oh my god, Facebook has money. We like money. We can get money from Facebook.
I don't know.
But legally, ZeniMax is in the right.
There is also that's why I want to see the shit when it gets disclosed, because the one expert said that you could tell the code was actually outside of shaders, that this was the inspiration. They did it here, they moved the code, and they do it there. It's one thing to do it off the top of your head to redo it, but if you're looking at the old code and rewriting it, that's fucked up. That is illegal.
Yeah, that's not a clean room implementation. For those of you who don't know, what you do to usually avoid copyright issues is when you're a programmer, or when you're trying to copy someone else's code without copying someone else's code, you look at what it's doing. You don't actually look at the code itself, but you look at like inputs and outputs, and then you try to write something that would emulate the inputs and the outputs. You try to make it do the same thing without it being the same thing. Kind of like I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. It's sort of like butter, but it's not exactly like butter. It's far enough away that you're not going to get in trouble, but it's close enough that people stay interested.
Pretty much you have to paraphrase it without looking at it. If you're looking at it when you paraphrase it, you're probably going to get sued.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens to that. And I think that's all the news we've got this week, unless you guys had any last-minute stories.
Nope.
No.
Well, it was honestly a pretty light week, except for the GameStop shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Dark Souls.
Which is a big thing. And Dark Souls. Praise the sun.
So we'll get out of here. We do have a little bit of gaming facts for you. It's actually an interesting one. Dust 2. The long A section of the map was an accident. What actually happened is they were focusing on all the other ends of the map and had all the textures and stuff placed. They ran out of room on the map. And rather than shifting the map to make room to be able to finish the side, they didn't want to fuck with the textures anymore, so they left it exactly as is.
Long A was a mistake.
A beautiful, beautiful mistake, but a mistake.
Probably one of the most classic maps in all of multiplayer FPS. I love Dust 2.
I love the lackadaisical simultaneous confidence of just being like, oh no, we messed this up. It's probably fine.
No, I loved it. He actually
put it in anyway.
He put it in a tweet. He was explaining it, and like later down, he's like, "Yeah, we realized we could have shifted the map, but we didn't want to remap all those textures." I'm like, lazy developers for the win, baby.
That's wonderful.
So that's all we got for you guys this week. We'd love to hear from you. Get some suggestions on topics, what you think about what we've talked about, how you're liking it, how you're hating it, what your favorite color is, anything.
Tell us what you had for breakfast.
Dinner, either. How you like your steaks cooked.
Can you send
Medium
recipes
rare, obviously?
to fanmail@72pinconnector.com? If your recipe gets made by me or my wife, we'll take your questions on the show.
Or you could always just tweet at us at 72PC Podcast, any of those fantastic recipes, and we will take pictures of them. But if you also, all of our stuff is done live. You can also go check us out at 72 Pin Connector on YouTube to see any of this stuff posted at a later time, as well as our extra content that we put up. Game clips, game reviews, hardware reviews. You'll catch all sorts of kind of stuff. Extra discussions we'll have on the side. So plenty of ways to get at us. Our podcast is an RSS feed, so you can hook us up to your favorite podcast listening app. And I think that's all we got for you. So until next week, game on.
Game on.
See you, everyone.